Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. Got two beers we're going to do this afternoon. An Aussie and a collaboration between two international breweries. So the Aussie one is by Working Title out of Brisbane. It's called 2 Days in the Valley. So they're referring to Fortitude Valley up in Brisbane. That's where all the sort of nightlife is, and yeah, some good bars and breweries and stuff. Pretty happening area. And yeah, this is an American IPA, so a West Coast style IPA at 6.5%. Pretty cool can artwork. Love the little in the logo. On the back it says the original recipe by the original brewed in the original brewery. A perpetual middle finger to bland corporate swill. So yeah, it must have been one of the first beers they did. That's pretty cool. I remember them when they were just gypsy brewers or whatever you call it when they go and brew at someone else's brewery. And that was the first time I actually met them. And I grabbed one of their beers out of the fridge to buy, and apparently it wasn't for sale. And they're like, nah, fuck it, just have it, mate. It was like a pre-release stout that like no one was meant to know about. So that was pretty cool. Cheers, Stephen. Cheers, Josh. Good to see you. So yeah, I've got the hashtag proper glassware. This was their third birthday glass. I think now they'd be about 4 or 5 years old. So let's get into it. Bit of a late start today. Like normally on a Sunday, if I start, because I have to get up at 3 a.m. Monday morning when I do morning shift. Yeah, normally I'd be nearly finishing drinking by now. I'd just have a couple early and finish early, but I'm just doing the two beer reviews. We'll see how we go. Yeah, boy. Cheers, Craig. Good to see you, mate. Let's do it. So yeah, these guys, in my opinion, they generally brew pretty good West Coast IPAs. Their hazies can be hit and miss, and I really think their specialties, their dark beers. They actually do pretty good lagers too. But yeah, the head brewer's definitely more of a West Coast guy. He's a bit like me, he's sick and tired of hazy beers. It looks pretty good, and I can already smell it. Yeah, so they had a tour, mate. They had their own tour, and it just got more and more of a headache, and they've ended up having to cancel it. I think they just weren't expecting it to cost them so much money, and things kept getting bigger and escalating, and it got to a point where they're just like, we can't see it as a viable option to keep going with it, and yeah, they ended up pulling the pin, which is a real shame. Like everyone had tickets and was real excited. It was meant to be next month, so yeah, they were like real apologetic and gave everyone their refund, and I know sort of said they're going to try and make it up to the fans and stuff. But yeah, then that come along to headline the Byron Bay thing, so that'd be pretty cool. It's weird because it's a blues fest and they're like pretty like heavy metal. But yeah, they're from Byron Bay, so everyone's gonna get around them. It'll be massive. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Um I wouldn't go to Byron Bay just to see them. Just the fact that I went all the way to Sydney to see them last year. I think the Sydney gig was more iconic, being in the Opera House and that. But obviously, if they play in Melbourne again, I'll go see them. Oh yeah, yep. Ah, fair enough, dude. You were probably down in the bottom part of Richmond. You were probably down like Swan Street, down the other end or something. But yeah, you'll have to check it out when you're next in that area. So yeah, I like the colour of this. It's already looking good. I like a very heavily caramel backbone on a Westie, like caramel, bready, biscuity. It's got very lively carbonation. Head's only like one finger. I would say medium body, and color is like a sort of like a burnt orange, almost like copper. Yeah, let's go with smell. Hmm. Oh, that smells delightful. So yeah, as I described with the malt, it's exactly what I expected when I seen the colour. Very strong, like caramel toffee, white bread, sort of like a sweet biscuit. But yeah, you're getting huge citrus, like a almost like a candied orange, and maybe like tangerine, some grapefruit, and yeah, just a big waft of pine. Ooh, baby, it's gonna be good. This one, I think this is exactly what I needed. A nice bitter beer to start the day. You almost get like a herbal note as well. Like it's almost like a maybe a touch of like mint. Some wet green plants anyway, let's just put it that way. Anyway, cheers guys. I'm going in. Boom. Yes. Yeah, they rarely miss with their West Coast. Only thing I've found with working title is sometimes their beers don't last very well. But yeah, I try not to buy them too old. Like there's certain breweries, if you buy a can of their beers and it's like 4 months old, it's like just forget about it. But then there's other breweries you could pick something up that's like 6 months old and it still drinks like it's fresh. Yeah. Fitzroy, in my opinion, when you go out in Fitzroy, it's probably a bit more laid back and like I feel like people in Fitzroy probably don't care as much about what they're wearing, that sort of stuff. Whereas Richmond's probably a bit, you get a bit of that sort of, I don't know, like it's a bit sort of, some of the places might be a bit more like upper class and you're getting like girls going in there all dolled up to the nines and a lot of girls in the Fitzroy area would be just wearing sort of similar stuff to what the blokes are wearing, like just jeans and stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Oh, pardon me. Cheers, Keith. Yeah, straight up Westie, mate. American IPA. 2 days in the valley. I like the name. It's cool. So yeah, whenever people go to Brisbane, it's like, oh, let's go to the valley. Like the valley's sort of the place to be, like for the young ones. But yeah, it's got a lot of good beer spots and restaurants and that as well. So it's good for the oldies. It's so good. I like how it's got that real sweet citrus. It sort of balances out the pine because you're getting this like piney, earthy. It's not really dank. It's resinous, but yeah, it's like quite potent. And then the sweetness sort of cuts through a bit of that. Like it's almost like floral. And yeah, you're getting this huge sweet citrus and sweet toffee. It's just a good balance. They have really done a good job with this one. It's got that Moorish quality too, where you just keep going back in for more. Were you on Alex's yesterday? I think I seen you on there. I only checked in just briefly a couple of times. I was going to go on, but yeah, I had I was hanging out with miscellaneous, and then ended up doing my own thing. Went for hours. It was insane. So yeah, after this one, I've got a collaboration between Other Half and Garage Project. All Kiwi everything. So obviously, you American guys know Other Half being in New York, and then Garage Projects New Zealand. I've had a couple of beers when these two have worked together, and they've always been pretty good quality. Yeah, so looking forward to that one. It's a big boy too, big triple IPA, I think. Double 10.5, 10.5, sort of in between double and triple, I reckon. Which one did you have? Just the OG or one of the variants? It's so shit. We don't get them here anymore. Goose Island did a heap of work in Australia, and we even had some of their beers in pubs on tap and everything. And so it meant that you easily got Bourbon County back then, especially too because a lot of people in Australia didn't even know what the fuck Bourbon County was. So beer people like me are just like, fuck yeah, like give them all to me. And then yeah, I think just prior to the pandemic, or it might have even been the pandemic, they just disappeared and you never seen them again. Like there was pubs I was going to in Melbourne, and they had Bourbon County on tap. It was so good. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I would have had like probably like 2000 and maybe 15 through to 2020. I would have had at least 4 or 5 in a row. And then yeah, they just disappeared. It's like Firestone Walker and I don't know, Oscar Blues. There's quite a few of those bigger breweries that they've just sort of disappeared in Australia. Founders was another one. We still see a little bit of Sierra Nevada, but they were going to actually open an Aussie store. And then, yeah, it just fell away. Apparently, they couldn't justify the cost. Australia has the highest, nearly the highest alcohol taxes in the world. So a lot of breweries get excited to distribute here and then they realize how fucking costly it is. The Rainbow Hotel, that's the one in that's in Fitzroy in amongst the houses, isn't it? It's on a corner and it's just got houses all around it and it's like got a little beer garden and stuff. I think it's the one. I reckon I've been there. I love that area of Fitzroy. Yeah, I love that area of Fitzroy where you're just walking through housing, and all of a sudden you'll just see random pubs just in amongst the homes. It's like fuck yeah. Imagine living there and having a pub in your neighbourhood. I actually want to do a Fitzroy pub crawl, just like instead of going to breweries, just go to some of the old pubs in those areas and just have like beers like VB and stuff. London Tavern. Yeah, I don't think I've been there. In Fitzroy, I've been to the Rainbow, the Marquee of Lawn, the Napier. One of them's got a heap of Fitzroy memorabilia. It's right near the Fitzroy Town Hall. There's a pub there on the corner across the road. And you go in there and it's a tiny little front bar and it's just got Fitzroy Lions stuff everywhere. So cool. Yeah, for sure, mate. Yeah. Yeah, quite often I go to Melbourne, so I'll even just like let people know in advance when I'm going down. But yeah, the first thing I want to do when I go to Melbourne next, the two things I want to do, I want to go to West Side Ale Works because I've got a voucher there. So I want to go. They've revamped it. They've got new owners, new beer selection. So I want to go there and try the new beer range and have a pizza. And then another place I want to go that's in a similar area. I want to go to the distillery, Starwood, that do all the real good whiskies and stuff. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of good like band venues in that area. Hit that like button too, peeps. There's a few in the viewing. Might even end up doing 3 today. We'll see how we go. Just because yeah, I've still got so many beers that have been sitting in the fridge for a while, so I'm sort of worried they're gonna be losing their quality. I've had a few fluctuations in the temperature with the fridge just because of those real stinking hot days. I know a fridge it shouldn't matter what the weather is, but yeah, because the fridge is playing up a little bit on those days because it's out in the shed when it was like 45 degrees and stuff. The fridge definitely wasn't working like it should have been. So I'm worried that there's a few IPAs and that might have gone up and down in temperature. You know it. May as well pour the rest. So yeah, this beer is 6.5%, whereas the next one's like 10. It's massive. 10 and a half actually. Yeah, I like that simple artwork, even just the font. But yeah, that's their logo, working title. Ugh, shit. I think Juzzy's doing his bag run today in Melbourne. She's a bit wild out there today. It's a bit of a worry with the wind. I'm not sure how the fires are going. They definitely got on top of them, but with that wind today, they might start up again. It's definitely not as warm though. It's actually a little bit cool today. I'm sitting here in shorts and a t-shirt and could probably nearly put pants on. I'm a little bit cold. Yeah. When you drink and you go out and that, are you there like socializing with people, or you sort of just sort of chilling, like just amongst yourselves, sort of thing, or because a lot of it, yeah, it depends on what you're doing as well. So one thing I used to do when I was younger, when I'd go for drinks, we'd sort of do stuff that was like, not only would we go to pubs, but we'd try and do other shit that was fun to break up the night a bit. So like we'd go to like maybe like some greyhound races or a game of footy or something beforehand, just to, I don't know, like, yeah, make it a little bit different. And you're sort of in a different mood then, like you're already in high spirits, and then you go to the pub and you're just being silly. Yeah, I meant though, like as in you were there with mates, but when you were there, were you sort of up and like socialising with other people in the bar, or just sort of sitting amongst yourselves? Like, how many of yous were there? Were you just sort of having one beer at a pub and then getting up and going to the next one? And the thing that doesn't help too is it's so fucking expensive. Would have been so unreal, like back in the day when beers were like $2 and that, doing pub crawls, and yeah, every time you get a beer now though, you're spending like $20. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I'm always the one that's like encouraging people and going, have a shot. Like, I'll stand over people, make sure they drink. I used to have these parties here at my house with a couple of the younger blokes from work, and like we'd have a fire going in the backyard, and we'd have all these beers all lined up, but then we'd end up having like shots and beer bongs and all that sort of stuff as well. And I was like the forceful older brother or something, just getting everyone messed up. Yeah. Yeah, so that, and like that's the thing. You probably didn't even. You probably had a fair few to drink, but like, yeah. That is such a nice beer. I'm trying to think how I'd score it. I'll go a 4.5, I reckon. Yeah. What else did you drink? Like, did you get some spirits or a cocktail or something like that? A bourbon and coke. See, some pubs will have specials where you can get like I don't know, like a bourbon and coke or something like that for not much more than like what a beer is. So it's like if I'm at a pub and I want to sort of get my money's worth, I'm like, fuck, I may as well get a bourbon if they're only a little bit dearer than a beer. I haven't had a Palmer for young. Hard solo, yeah, that's pretty popular now. Tap only, Canadian club and lime. Yeah, cool. Yeah, they have a lot of them sort of on tap now, don't they? They even have those like coffee cocktails for the girls, or not just girls, but they are popular with the girls. The espresso martinis, they quite often have them on tap now, so it's a lot easier for the bar staff. Yeah, that's delightful, that beer. I'm very happy with that. As I said, 4.5. It's called 2 Days in the Valley, and known as an American IPA at 6.5%. Yeah, these guys, good dudes out of Brisbane. Yeah, the beer itself, like as I described it, like real sort of caramel toffee forward with the malt, like white bread, like a sweet biscuit, and then you're getting like piney sort of floral herbal notes, bit resinous, and huge citrus, sweet and a little bit pithy, but mainly sweet. Bitterness was moderate. Sweetness up front was pretty intense, and then you're getting like a touch of dryness on the finish. But yeah, definitely well executed American IPA. It's sort of exactly how I like them. Hmm. Cheers, Angie. Cool hanging out yesterday or last night. I sure have, brother. So when I last time I went to Perth, I hired a car and drove down to Margaret River. And when I did that, like being the beer guy I am, I thought, well, I'm going to stop at all the breweries on the way down. And I remember I got to that Eagle Bay. I think it might have been fairly late in the afternoon. And it's like right on the sort of right up on the cliffs, like on the coastline. That's when like WA sort of that part where it starts to come out a bit, like it's on a cape sort of thing. And I remember it being fairly flash. And I went in there and they had so many beers I'd never tried before, and it looked like a real cool spot for like feed and that as well. But I was on limited time, plus I was driving, so I think I got like pretty sure I got like a pilsner. It was like an oak barrel pilsner or something, and then maybe a. I think I remember having two beers there. I reckon, or I might have like grabbed some takeaways. Yeah, but I just remember it being a pretty cool place, and I didn't know much about it. So you can get their beers distribution, but just not on this side of the country. I've definitely seen them in like Perth bottle shops and stuff. Yeah, it was a good stream. It was funny when because Matt always says to me, "No, I prefer I don't really enjoy the panel stuff. I just like when you're doing your beer reviews and that's why I'm here, sort of thing." I'm like, yeah, fair enough, no drama. And then last night he was watching most of the panel, and he goes, "Oh, it's been a really good stream, this one." And I'm like, I thought you only like the reviews, brother. You don't like the panels. So I was like stirring him up. Trilby definitely started getting drunker and drunker. You can tell when he gets real pissed because he's really loud talking over everyone, and then he's just like constantly insulting people. He's a good bloke. And it's good to have Angie and James and Craig and Disco. We had Juzzy at one stage. I've forgotten a few people. Joey was there briefly. Paul from PA Brew News. Who am I missing? Oh yeah. Oh, most of the Bills, bloody Aussies, dude. How are you anyway, Let? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, cool, man. Thanks for chiming in. We'll see you next time. Oh yeah, the other Phil. Fuck. How did I forget that? Yeah, he was on Simo's when I was in the chat over there. He's like, "Oh, thanks so much for having me on your stream, Sammy." I'm like, "Yeah, it was good at first, but then you kept fucking off." And hit that like button too, peeps. I'll finish this one up shortly and then start on the newie. Any left in this? Not really. A little drop. So yeah, we might. I reckon I'll start the new one now. So I've already got it set up, ready to go. I think I had it in for 3:25, so that's 2 minutes away. So perfect. So yeah, it'll be the all Kiwi everything, which is by Other Half out of New York, and Garage Project out of Wellington, New Zealand. So yeah, it should be pretty good beer, this one. Cheers to working title. Keep pumping out those good Westies. And yeah, thanks for chiming in, peeps, and come follow me on the next one. I'll go there straight away. So cheers.